Good afternoon. Welcome to Akwaaba Yoga. Always a pleasure to be on the mat. My name is Mark, for those who haven't joined in before. It's a pleasure to be practicing again. And as mentioned before, mixing up the times in terms of time duration, we'll be doing this. So this is going to be a 20-minute session. Mainly going to be mat-based, so I'm going to be focusing on the back. So if you're watching it live or on playback, hope you enjoy. And as always, do hit me back with any feedback you might have. But let's get cracking. 12:31. Cool. So let's come straight onto the mats. We're going to come and let's come into line our back. Lengthen that through the legs. And just bring your back down to the mats. Let's find ourselves arriving. Just close our eyes. I'd like to find somewhere that's comfortable for you just to place your hands, to avoid any sort of fidgeting. Maybe place your right hand on your belly and your left hand on your heart. So you start to tune to your breath. You can start to become aware of the movement of your belly as you draw breath in. Breathe all the way to the belly. Feel your hand rising. And as you exhale, feel your hand collapsing in line with your belly. Just take long inhales, long exhales here. And on each exhale, just use it as an opportunity to relax into different areas of the body where you might be holding. Just become aware of maybe your butt cheeks. Are you clenching the butt cheeks? If you are, just relax. Become aware of the shoulders, your thoracic spine, the top half of your back. On each exhale, just relax into the shoulders. Just breathing together here. Feel free to keep your eyes closed or blink them open. I want to draw the knees into our chest as close as we can. Maybe just grab in front of the knees or maybe behind the hamstrings. Just draw your knees in. Just as we're doing this, just become aware that we're creating length in our lower back. Just by bringing the knees in towards the chest. So also be doing some isometric stretching during this yoga practice. So that means we'll just be coming into some longer than normal holds. Just keeping the knees pulled in. Relax the grip. And let's just float the legs as far up to the ceiling as we can. Just curl the toes in towards the face. Feel as if your soles of the feet are holding up the ceiling. If you need to grab the back of the hamstrings like I'm doing, then feel free to do so. Just holding the legs here. Just imagining the blood flowing down from the legs to the hips. Now, whether this does this in reality or not, I can't say. Ultimately, the heart beats blood around the body. A lot of people say that when you go upside down, you're reversing the blood flow. Scientifically, I don't know. But just bring yourself to the imagination that you're nourishing the hips here. And then if you're holding to the back of the hamstring, let's just start to release. And slowly we're bringing the legs down. So engaging for the core and just building strength in the lower back. Just keep bringing the legs down as far as you can. If they collapse to the ground, then just relax in your Shavasana pose. Slowly, slowly. And then relax. We're going to come into a early supine twist. So let's bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Just shuffle the body over towards the right side on the mat. So we're going to have both knees pointing up towards the ceiling. I'm going to just drop both knees over towards the left side. So we're coming up onto our left hip. The knees are pointing over towards the left side of the room. And then start to open the right arm as far as you can over towards the right side. It may not go all the way, as well just go to your edge. Maybe if you can, just take your gaze over towards the right hand. Now you place your left hand on your belly or on your ribs on the right side, and just enjoy the twist you're coming into. Just become aware if you're holding your breath. If you are, just come back into your natural breath, your natural breathing pattern. You're inhaling, you're exhaling here. Giving a shout out to 52 weeks later. At an epic half marathon he did yesterday. 1 minute 49, if I remember correctly. Amazing achievement. Let's start to draw the knees back in towards center. And let's come into the other side. So now let's just shuffle the body over towards the left side of the mat. Now I'm going to drop the knees over towards the right, come up onto the right hip. And then when we're ready, just open our body up as much as we can over towards the left side. So take the gaze over towards the left hand perhaps. Again, feel free to take the hand onto maybe the left thigh, left ribs. Just become aware again of the breath, the inhale and the exhale. As we're hanging out here in this variation on supine twist. So the twist is coming from the lower back. It's a really nice asana for any lower back pain or sciatica. Let's start to release out. So bringing the knees back towards center. From here, we're going to come into bridge pose. So we're going to just walk the feet in as close as we can towards our bums. Maybe see if we could just scrape the back of the heels. And when you're ready, come back down onto the mat. We're going to press our feet into the floor and lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So become aware of the ground below the feet, under the feet, and on the next inhale, start to lift up from the lower back, middle back, upper back, pressing the hips up towards the ceiling. Just become aware if you're opening up through the knees. See if you can keep the knees hip distance apart. Engage through the core to help again protect the lower back. We're here for count of 3, a count of 2, count of 1. On the exhale, let's slowly come down, upper back, middle back, lower back, and come to Supta Baddha Konasana. Feet together and knees apart. So we're creating openness in the hips by letting the knees just drop out to the sides, placing the right hand on the belly and the left hand on the heart. Let's come into bridge pose once more. Just draw the knees together with the soles of the feet back on the floor. And just check the space and make sure you can just touch the back of the heels. And then when you're ready, pressing our feet into the floor, into the mat, drawing the hips up towards the ceiling, engaging through the core, aiming to keep the knees and the feet hip distance apart for a count of 3, 2, 1. Slowly come down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Once again, let's come into our Supta Baddha Konasana. Feet together, knees apart, right hand on the belly, and our left hand on our heart. Take long, drawn out breaths here. Deep inhale in and exhale out. And again, inhale in and exhale. Let's bring the knees back to center. Let's just start to window wipe the knees from the left to the right. So let's see if we're coming into that supine twist we started at the beginning, but the knees just dropping to the left and to the right. Just bringing a bit of movement to the body. And let's come back towards center. We're going to bring the knees back in towards the chest and just inhale up and exhale back. So we're just massaging out through the spine here. Inhaling to come up, exhale to come back. And on the next inhale, I'm going to sit up nice and tall on the mats. We're going to lengthen out our legs in front of the body. So again, we're finding lengthen the spine by coming into a seated forward fold. So sit up nice and tall in our seats. On the inhale, going to float the arms up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, we're bending from the hips. So the aim isn't to take the head to the knees or the head to the shins. We're just going to the point where our body won't let us go any further. And feel free to use the hands underneath the hamstrings or the sides of the calves to add a bit of resistance to help us draw the chest a bit further forward. We're long in the neck. So as opposed to collapsing the head down, just look forward to help us really find space in that lower back. On each inhale, we're lengthening, and on the exhale, we're folding a bit further forward. If it's there to grab maybe the ankles or the backs of the feet, just feel free to take any variation that works for you. Another 2 breaths. One more breath. Deep inhale in, exhale to soften to fold, and then start to ease out of that. So coming back upright. We're going to take a bend in the right knee. So the right side of the foot comes down and can come into a twist. So let the right foot stay on the inside of the left thigh, or you can take the right foot up and over the left thigh. Again, whichever variation works. Wherever you might be, just take the left hand on the outside of the right knee. Place the right hand behind ourselves on the inhale. We're going to sit up nice and tall. And on the exhale, coming back into the twist. So, just we're keeping our chin over our chest. So we're twisting again from the lower back. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. Inhale to lengthen up. Exhale to twist. And then start to release out. Come back towards center. Let's go long again, that right leg, and come into the other side. So we're bending into the left knee this time. The left sole of the foot comes flat on the mat. Again, we've got different variations. If you keep the left foot where it is, or if you want to, you can take it up and over the right thigh. You can also maybe even bend into that right knee and bring your right leg behind yourself. So you've got different variations you can go for. Let's take the right hand and take it on the outside of the left knee. Use the hook of the elbow to wrap around the front of the shin. And again, on the inhale, sit up nice and tall. On the exhale, we'll come into the twist. So the chin over the chest. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. And again, inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. This is a lovely one for the glutes as well. As you draw that knee into the chest and start to relax out. So untangle the legs wherever you might be. Let's just turn and face the front of the mat. Let's all meet in our tabletop. So the knees are underneath the hips, the hands are underneath the shoulders. I'm going to take some cat and cows as we start to wind down. On the inhale, the gaze goes forward, the tailbone goes high. Exhale, draw the navel into the spine, press the hands into the floor to find space in the upper back. And hold. Let's reverse it out. Inhale to draw the gaze up towards the front. Exhale to undulate through the back, taking a gaze to the navel. And again, inhale to look up, tailbone goes high. Exhale to round in the upper back. And come back towards a neutral spine. Just have a play here. Let's come to a freestyle. Maybe shift the hips forward and back. Maybe drop the hips so we're coming into an upward facing dog. tucking your elbows in towards the sides. Maybe you want to take your bum down towards your heels to come into Balasana, our child's pose. Bring the forehead as close as you can towards the mat. Or maybe you're just coming into a figure of 8. Just finding movement in whichever direction might suit for your back here as you're exploring any areas of tightness. Let's all come into stillness here. We're going to curl the toes under, press our hands into the floor, and come into downward facing dog. So we're pressing our hands into the mats, walking out through the feet. As we're coming into the calves. On the inhale, let's all come high on the toes. And on the exhale, we're energetically drawing our heels down towards the mats, pressing our hands into the floors. We lengthen up through the arms and through the back. Feel free, it's there for you to bend into the knees. They don't need to be straight, the legs. Again, the key is to listen to your body and to just enjoy the practice. Enjoy moving the body here. On the next breath, we're going to drop back down to the knees and curl the toes. Bring our hands forward to the front of the mat. Slowly bring our chest down to the floor as we're lying on our belly. We're going to create a pillow with our arms. So just bring the forearms on top of one another, the right forearm on top of the left. Just bring your forehead towards the arms. So you're gazing towards the floor. Now with our feet, we're going to point our feet out towards the back of the room. On the next inhale, let's lift up through the left leg. So we're keeping that leg nice and straight. Lifting that left leg off the floor. For a count of 2. Count of 1. Slowly bring it down. And again, let's go on the right side this time. On the inhale, bring that right leg up, pointing it towards the back of the room. For 2. For 1. And we're bringing it back down towards the mat. Let's see if we can go for both feet this time. Or feel free to take the left and the right as we've just done. So on the inhale, we're lifting both feet up off the floor, pointing both feet towards the back of the room for a count of 3, 2, 1, and relax the legs down. When I come into the front of the body now, so take the arms out towards the side into superhero pose. So we're resting our chin on the floor. On the inhale, let's lift up through the chest, peel our arms away from the floor. Keep the gaze looking down for 2, for 1. Let's come back down towards the mat. We can repeat that. We'll just bring the legs into play. So on the inhale, we're lifting up through the chest, peeling away from the floor, lifting up through the arms and engage both feet, pointing the feet towards the back of the room as we come to locust for a count of 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back down towards the mat. Let's take our arms underneath the body. We're going to tuck our elbows in towards the ribs. We're going to press up to come into a cobra. Just peeling the chest away from the floor. Rolling the shoulders back. And on the exhale, come back down. And again, inhale to press our hands into the floor. Our elbows are tucked in. And on the exhale, let's lift up through the hips. Bring our bums back down towards the heels as we're meeting our child's pose Balasana. Take long breaths here. Deep inhale in and exhale out. If you find Balasana is a little bit uncomfortable, feel free to press into the shins just to lift the bump of the heels to release any areas of compression in the belly perhaps. Or invite you to stay where you are. Gonna find a bit more space. You can open up a bit further in the knees to bring your chest a bit closer towards the mat. And as you do, you find a bit more space in the hips. Long breath in, long breath out. I invite you to stay in your child's pose here for as long as you might need. Otherwise, we're going to press up. I'm going to turn and face the front of the camera. Turn and face the camera. That's a quick fire 20 minutes. Again, you'd have to go amazingly quick when you're coming into a yoga practice or yoga flow. Isometric stretching, or when you're holding into certain poses, is extremely beneficial. So yeah, that's me done and dusted. I hope you enjoyed this session, and yeah, have a great Sunday. It's great outside, but yeah, have a great Sunday, have a great week ahead, and I'll see you on the mat next week. 12:51. Yeah, it's weird to finish so quickly, but it's me done. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you on the mat next week. Take care, guys.